Hey, Christian Care Companion. There are situations in caregiving where something has already changed, but the structure around it hasn't caught up yet. And until it does, the same problem will keep repeating in the same place. This is one situation where something has changed and a decision is now required. Your loved one got out of the house 4 times on Saturday. Not once, 4 times. You wake up and you find the door open. You look in the living room, then in the kitchen, then in the front yard. And there she is down the street. Not standing at the mailbox, not pacing on the porch. She is actually moving away from the house. And she keeps going. Past the next yard, past the edge of the road, towards the woods. You are not wondering anymore whether or not she may leave. She already left. And it happened again and again and again. This isn't just a one-time scare. It is a repeating problem. She gets out, you go after her, you bring her back, and things settle down. And then it happens again. It gets handled in the moment, but nothing you are trying is keeping because she keeps getting out. And at night, you cannot keep her in. So, of course, you start to try things. You're checking the doors more carefully. You're locking them earlier. You think about adding safety measures higher up. You're definitely listening more closely at night. You're sleeping lighter, and you try to stay one step ahead. But here's what matters. All of those attempts assume the same basic thing. They assume that that particular setup can still hold. They assume it's a bad night or a loophole, or you just need to be more careful. But that is an illusion. The issue is not that you haven't tightened things enough. The issue is that what is happening now is bigger than what this particular setup can reliably contain. What is changed is plain. Your loved one is no longer staying in the house. She is getting out repeatedly and moving away from the home and heading towards places that are not visible, not contained, and not easy to reach. That is what is changed. And what still has to happen is very clear. She has to remain physically safe throughout the night. She has to be prevented from leaving the home unsupervised. She still has to be found before distance, darkness, weather, traffic, or terrain turn this into something worse. But what cannot now reliably happen is this. The home, as it's currently functioning, can no longer reliably keep her from getting out. And that means you cannot sleep, live, or function normally while also being the only live security system standing between her and the road. That is why this is no longer just a difficult night. It is no longer a wandering problem. This is a decision about whether this particular environment can safely hold what is happening. Because she keeps getting out. And once she's out, she moves away from the home. At that point, the setup isn't holding her. The decision is there. It is just not being named. Caregiving is a system, whether we define it that way or not. The decision is no longer how to keep catching her after she gets out. The decision is whether or not that particular environment can continue to be used when it is no longer reliably preventing her from leaving the home. This is not only a safety precaution problem. It is also a decision about whether this environment will still continue to work. And if a decision isn't made, that particular pattern will keep happening. She will get out. You will chase. You'll recover. You'll reset. And you hope that the last time was the worst of it. But the safety requirement has not disappeared. Night is going to come again. The house is likely the same, and the risk will be the same. You will keep absorbing a problem the environment is no longer carrying. That is how a braking system keeps breaking in the exact same place. And here's what's actually happening. A decision is already here. It's already shaping your night. It's shaping your sleep. It's shaping her safety. But reaction isn't the same as decision. Running after her 4 times is a reaction. Bringing her back 4 times is a reaction. Lying awake at night, waiting for the next time is a reaction. Your decision is there. We just have not named it yet. And this is exactly the type of situation where you have to decide if this has reached a tipping point. Not because this cannot wait. It cannot. She isn't safe outside at night. But because this cannot keep being handled in the same way. Until you make a clear decision, this situation is not going to change. And if you're hearing this and recognizing your particular situation, then you have a decision to make. Because what's happening is no longer being carried by your current setup. And until you make that decision, this particular pattern will keep repeating in the exact same place. And if you want to stay connected to this work, right now you can go back to thinkdifferentdementia.com. But for now, look at what is happening in your life and decide what has to change.